So since Professor Mills died, Koku Anyidoho has been leading the charge about the Mills heritage at a Mills Institute, and now Koku Anyidoho is falling out with the Mahama people, and the Mahama people suspect that he's in cahoots with the MPP against the Mahama and the NDC administration. And so I'm thinking that sometime President Mahama is running for the next election, right? So I'm thinking that he looked at it and called his people and said that we have to, as much as possible, reduce the naysayers and the other voices within the context of the NDC that are attacking the President Mahama's ambition and that are attacking his effort to become president again. One of the key naughty points that they have to deal with is Koku Anyidoho. Anyidoho, you can't wish him away. He's there. He's talking about Professor Mills. Professor Mills is respected across board within the NDC, non-politicians, everyone respecting Professor Mills still catches the sympathy of Ghanaians given the circumstance of his death, all of that. So the Mills still is something that you cannot ignore. I'm sure President Mahama was thinking, what can we do about this? Because here is our enemy, Koku Anyidoho, who is sufficiently articulate, who can talk, who has information, and it's 10 years of the Professor Mills dead. What do we do? Because every year the guy comes up and Asimdwe Park is for him, the Mills heritage is for him, everything is about Mills is him. Everybody thinks of Mills and thinks of Koku Anyidoho. The Mahama people don't like that. So they put together a plan. They put together a very, very interesting plan. And that's why we say that they are removing the heritage of Mills from the claws of Koku Anyidoho, restoring it onto the ivory tower. Let's see the plan that they put across. The plan they put across comes up in the story, in the release. Can you give me the release, please? The press release. They'll put it on in a minute. And then you'll see, okay, so there's the press release. So this press release is dated Wednesday, January 26th. It's entitled the John Evans Atta Mills Memorial Heritage to be launched on the 1st of February. Okay, let's see what is in the details. A group of academics, now listen to this carefully, and we talk about caliber. A group of academics, professional colleagues, students, family, and appointees of President John Evans Atta Mills today announced the establishment of the John Evans Atta Mills Memorial Heritage, JEAM, John Evans Atta Mills Memorial Heritage. According to a statement issued by the governing board of the John Evans Atta Mills Memorial Heritage and signed by its board chairman, Mr. Alex Segbefia, former Minister for Health, the John Evans Atta Mills Memorial Heritage will be launched at the CD Conference Center, University of Ghana, on the 1st of February 2022. The Memorial Heritage is a non-profit, independent, non-partisan organization anchored in Professor Mills's passion and commitment to inclusivity, transparency, accountability, and his relentless quest for peace and a better society. Senior economist and elder statesman, Mr. Kwame Pianim, will deliver the main speech at the launch. The theme for the launch is The Man John Evans Atta Mills, 10 years on. There will be thematic presentations by Professor Koku Anyidoho, former president of the International Criminal Court, The Hague, Professor Francis Dodu, a former pro-vice chancellor of the University of Ghana and four-time Olympian, and Dr. Esther Ofe-Aboagye, a former director of the Institute of the Local Government Studies. The statement added. Now, herein is my conversation. This is the masterstroke from the stables of John Mahama. Now, you see what he's done. So Koku Anyidoho owns the thing, and then there's a lesson for everyone. That's why I talk about caliber. So Professor John Dramani Mahama and his advisors sit quietly, and they think that the way to wash this Anyidoho thing away is to raise the caliber of the event. Raise the caliber, bring serious people. That's why I talk about caliber. Caliber is what John Mahama is using as a weapon to smash out Mr. Anyidoho. One would ask, why hasn't Mr. Anyidoho, in constituting his Atta Mills Institute, thought about caliber and add other people and bring in other people and set it up right? That's the point. So if you're a young person listening to me, the moral of this story is that build caliber. No one can take that from you. Forget about social media. Build caliber. Now let's go through the area of people that John Mahama has lined up. It's just impressive, isn't it? Very, very impressive. Okay, it says elder statesman Kwame Pianim. Now Kwame Pianim is there to represent the non-partisan nature that they are talking about. But I'm going to ask a question, why not Osafo Maafo? Because we're talking about John Evans Atta Mills. I'll give you that information about the relationship between Mills and Osafo Maafo in a minute. But look at the area of people. Here's Kwame Pianim. Kwame Pianim is there Who else is there? Professor Koku Anyidoho. Professor Koku Anyidoho is the first female dean of the Faculty of Law of the University of Ghana. Professor Koku Anyidoho is also the first Ghanaian to be on an international ICC court. So that's caliber. That's pure, simple caliber. And of course, Professor Koku Anyidoho has a relationship with Professor Mills, isn't it? It was the time when she was dean in 2002. When I was a student at the faculty, it was at that time that Professor Mills supported the faculty's quest to secure a grant for what is now the School of Law that has been beautifully built at the university. It was the work of Koku Anyidoho, her relationship with the president, that put that in the budget. We were all excited when the national budget read in Parliament said that there would be this and that in the Professor Mills era. So Koku Anyidoho has a relationship with Professor Mills, no doubt about that. And then you have Professor Francis Dodo. Of course, he's quite well known as an Olympian. He's very well known also as a friend of Prof, former Prof Vice Chancellor. That's caliber, isn't it? And then you have another lady, Dr. Esther Ofe-Aboagye, also in there. That's caliber. And then you have Nana Kwabena Nketia, who is one of the most respected chiefs in the Western region. And Nana Kwabena Nketia is the chief that you say is a chief of philosophy, he's scholarly, very, very close to Professor Mills as well. We know that, and close to Pakwesi Misata even. He's one of the old boys of Infant Spim, and he likes to talk about that a lot. But Kwabena Nketia is very well respected. So that's caliber. Now these are the people that John Mahama has lined up to deal with the unfortunate rabble-rousing of Koku Anyidoho when he's talking about Atta Mills Institute and all of that. That's what John Mahama has lined up, and I can assure you. So now I come to the question of Dr. Dufour. Why is Dr. Dufour not there? Because you're talking about Professor Mills and his management, prudent management of economic resources. Now, Dr. Dufour should have been there, isn't he? Dr. Dufour is the finance minister to Professor Mills. He's the one in whose hands Professor Mills committed this economy. So he should have been there. The reason why he's not there is that Dr. Dufour, over the last few weeks, is now showing clearly that he's interested in challenging John Mahama for the leadership of the NDC. Many people think that he may not win. People think John Mahama is overwhelming favorites, but everyone is watching to see how many votes Dr. Dufour can garner and what kind of narrative he's going to bring to the NDC ticket. The opposition, well, should I call it the opposition? The NDC's opponents, the MPP, are really waiting to see the narrative that Dr. Dufour brings out so they can use that narrative when it gets to the main election against John Mahama. And Dr. Dufour is credible. When he talks, he says something, he's very, very credible. Former governor of the Bank of Ghana. Now, Dufour is the only person who's occupied the position of the governor, the regulator, the central bank governor, and also the Ministry of Finance position. Even before then, he had led the Ghana Commercial Bank in London. So in terms of credibility, Dr. Dufour has it. If he says something, it will be carried. It's all about caliber. So Dr. Dufour is not there for the simple reason that, and incidentally, the place where they are doing the launch, the CD building at the University of Ghana, is part of the economics department. And Dr. Dufour is one of the alumni of that department, about whom the department is exceptionally proud. I think Dr. Dufour is the only alumni from the economics department who has become Minister of Finance. I think it is, yes. If you look at the history from Bedema, who was the first Minister of Finance, to J.H. Mensah, they were educated abroad. And then you come through the Achampon era, many people shared it, Omabo and others. Rawlings had Kwesi Botwe, who was a lawyer. And then Kufuor had Asafo Mafo, who was an engineer. And then Atta Mills had him, of course, and John Mahama had Setekpe, and Nana Akufo-Addo has Ken Ofori-Atta, who studied abroad. So Dr. Dufour would be the only person who's graduated from this place where they are holding the event, the economics department, who has also become the Minister for Finance. So he should have been there, but he's not there because of that. Okay, another person, Asafo Mafo, who really should have been there. If you're talking about Atta Mills, now you can't talk about Atta Mills and his friends without talking about Asafo Mafo. Asafo Mafo and Atta Mills has struck an interesting board in Achimota School, and they had been friends forever. In fact, in 2000, when Professor Mills was contesting the election, when the election had gone to a second round, and journalists had asked Professor Mills that, you're running for the second round, Ghanaians think that the NDC has had 20 years plus PNDC, and they think they want a new person, a new MPP person. How would you, if you win, you are continuing with the NDC? And Professor Mills said, well, if I win, I'm going to bring everybody on board. We're going to build a national government. Everybody in Ghana is going to come on. And there are some people in the NDC who are closer to me than they are closer to their own MPP people. And he said he refers to Asafo Mafo. So everybody knows that Asafo Mafo and Professor Mills are particularly close. They had been in their youthful days. They just had different political parties, but I believe that they were still friends till the very end. Asafo Mafo is not there because even though they are looking for a non-partisan situation, they cannot guarantee that this Akufo-Addo's, one of Akufo-Addo's closest advisors, be part of something that John Mahama is doing. Are you getting the point? So this is not about Professor Mills as such. It is technically and intellectually about John Mahama. That's why Osafo Mafo is not there. If you're doing something about Professor Mills, Osafo Mafo will be there. If you're doing something about Professor Mills, Dr. Dufour will be there. But when you're doing the politics, as is okay, there's no problem with that. When you have a political situation where you have to outmaneuver a Koku Anyidoho and you have to use caliber to do that, which John Mahama has done excellently, you cannot include Dr. Dufour because it's not really about Professor Mills. It's about the ambition. It's about the challenge of 2024. That's legitimate. I'm not criticizing that. Please, let's get it clear. I'm not criticizing. I'm just analyzing it. It's a challenge of 2024. If I were John Mahama, I'll go 2024 in the same way. I'll pick up the Professor Mills heritage. I'll put myself underneath. I'll run it in such a way that I can shut up Koku Anyidoho, and then we can have peace of mind to run the campaign. But doing so, you have to exclude Dr. Dufour because he's running against John Mahama. And you will have to exclude Osafo Mafo because he's very partisan. He's with Akufo-Addo's deep, even though they say it's non-partisan. So they have to think of, okay, we say it's non-partisan, who do we bring? And they were very clever. Kwame Pianim, he's thought to be an MPP person, etc., etc. But Kwame Pianim is also a close friend of Professor Mills. He's, he's an international statesman, elderly statesman. People respect Kwame Pianim. So let Kwame Pianim deliver the lecture and let John Mahama chair. Now that you see the point I'm making, let's go back to the statement and read it again, and then we will conclude so you can understand what's happening. A lot of these political maneuverings are going to occur as we get into 2022 for the regional national party elections, and 2023 for the MPP primaries, and 2024 for the main election. Trust that here at Good Evening Ghana, we will be able to see through everything. Share it with you on the touch screen. You can have your say after that, and we can also have our work to do. Okay, so now that you've heard the analysis, let's go back. Okay, let me get, this is the letterhead, John Evans Atta Mills Memorial Heritage, and they are in their addresses there, I can see clearly. A group of academics, you see how they start. A group of academics, professional colleagues, students, family, and appointees of President John Evans Atta Mills today announced the establishment of the John Evans Atta Mills staff. Okay, let's roll it through. It's a non-profit, independent, non-partisan organization anchored in Professor Mills's passion and commitment to inclusivity, transparency, accountability, and his relentless quest for peace and a better society. Now, you can't say this without, you can't describe the foundation as having these ethos and you exclude Dr. Dufour from the trusteeship. It doesn't add up, does it? But there's a political reason why. That's what I'm bringing to you. The political reason is what I'm bringing to you. Okay, so here it is. Senior economist and elder statesman Kwame Pianim will deliver the main speech at the launch. That's credibility. Kwame Pianim is credible. No doubt about that. Kwame Pianim is very, very credible. Okay. The theme for the launch is the man John Evans Atta Mills, 10 years on. Why 10 years on? 10 years on because they are anticipating that this Koku Anyidoho is going to use the 10th anniversary of Professor Mills just to derail the John Mahama campaign. That's what he's going to do. They're anticipating that they're coming ahead of him, and they're coming ahead of him with caliber. Very, very important. Okay. There will be a thematic presentation by Professor Koku Anyidoho, former president of the International Criminal Court, The Hague. Professor Francis Dodu, a former Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana and four-time Olympian, and Dr. Esther Ofe-Aboagye, a former director of the Institute of Local Government Studies. The statement added. Alex Segbefia is also chairing it, and he's a Professor Mills person. So what should Mr. Anyidoho do? Get me back the photographs and let's see. What should Mr. Anyidoho do if he has to respond to this? Because at this stage, he's been flattened by caliber. Clearly, Anyidoho has been frightened by caliber. They'll get me his photograph in a bit. What should Koku Anyidoho do? Here he is. What should he do now? He's a blood brother of a blood son of Professor Mills, quote and unquote. He dies for Professor Mills. He works for Professor Mills. He weeps for Professor Mills. Some people are now trying to snatch it from him because he refused to pay attention to caliber. That's the lesson. When you're doing something, don't refuse to pay attention to caliber. It's not always about glam. Caliber is very, very important because you want people to respect you in a certain way. The marketing people will tell you that any brand is of high respect but may be of low love. Any brand is of high respect but may be of low love. So you see a brand, you respect it. You don't like it because it's too expensive, you can afford it, or something. But that's the mantra of a brand. High respect, but you may be of low love. So Koku Anyidoho, what he did wrong or what he overlooked was that he did not build caliber for the legendary professor. So what should he do now? What he can do is to invite other people to join his. Osafo Mafo, Dr. Dufour, some PhDs in NDC who have been overlooked, Guzi Tano, Peter Podugbe. Get some kind of people to join him. Otherwise, on 1st of February, when they launch this event with John Mahama there, Kwampianim there, Kwiakonyi here there, all the media is going to cover it. We will cover it because that's an event of substantial caliber and everybody is going to cover it. So, word to the youth. Build caliber. Don't build something and then it will be snatched away from you with caliber. Build caliber. Invite people who have caliber. And remember, the Bible said a good name is better than riches. Build caliber. Learn. All I'm talking about caliber is young people. Just learn. You saw the caliber of people. The campaign is going to speak, and you have to be there. If those of you on Legon campus rush there on the 1st of February and listen to Kwampianim speak, you will learn a lot from that. You might not get that in all your 4 years at the university. What Kwampianim is going to say, listen to it. If you don't have time, watch Good Evening Ghana. We'll get the speech, we'll dissect it, we'll talk about it, and we'll tell you what Kwampianim said. John Mahama is also going to speak. But tonight, we have to say thumbs up to John Mahama. This looks like a masterstroke. Anyone who advised John Mahama to do this, Mr. President, please listen to that person. Anybody who advised you, Mr. President John Mahama, to do this thing, listen to that person. That person has brain. That person who advised you, put that list together, he has brain. Whoever he is, I don't know who he is, or whoever she is, that person has brain. So, Mr. President, listen to that person a lot, yeah? The person who put this together, because as far as tonight is concerned, you have flattened Anyidoho for now, but 24th July is a few months away, and Koku Anyidoho is going to fight back. He must remember that he's been flattened by caliber. He has to restore caliber to his Atta Mills Institute.